Kia ora, Pisces. Taurus, sorry, Taurus. This is the new moon in Pisces reading for you today. It's technically it's happening today too, though of course it's a reverberation in terms of the natural rhythms of the moon, the cycles of the moon. So let's get the cards out for you today. Let's see, we'll get some to jump if we can. Taurus, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And thanks again for joining me and liking and subscribing or just watching. That's fabulous. But if you can press the little like button, it means that more people see these videos, so I do appreciate that. What else? Well, the collective reading is up there if you want to check that out. And of course, any other readings that stand out for you. So we've got 5 cards here. The story line today, if you haven't tuned in, we always go through and clarify with a few other decks. So let us start. We come out here with the 9 of Cups. It's pretty expansive stuff. We're in a comfortable position, Taurus, here. We know what makes us happy. We are in a comfortable place. I do see that. Maybe for you at this time, and probably largely because you're in a comfortable place, things are working out. As I said, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I do think that you kind of... and maybe this occurred, or maybe this sort of theme was coming up in the last Taurian reading, but you're just wanting to mix things up a bit. You're wanting to maybe change your approach to something, whether that's work, whatever it is. But anyway, we'll just go through here. We then have the 7 of discs after the beautiful 9 of Cups, which is called happiness. There's a tendency, or there's a potential to get a little bit complacent with where we're at sometimes with that 9 of Cups, but I don't see it as that in this reading. So we've got the 7 of discs here. We're doing a review. We're looking back at what we've put our energy into, possibly how we negotiated certain things at certain times. And when we look back, we see that we could have, what's the word? We could have sort of raised our own bar a bit higher. But of course, this is the nature of life, isn't it? We look back and we think, well, I would have done that in a different way. But so the 7, of course, all about assessment. We're looking at the things that we grew, that we sowed the seed, we grew. Did we get our yield that we thought we would? Did we not? Did we prepare the ground properly? You know, the metaphor of the farmer. It's also an energetic review, meaning the energy, that you have given, whether it's to others or to projects, to creative stuff, to work stuff, across the board. The energy that you've put into things, has it paid off for you? Has it been worthwhile or not? And in reviewing that, we do shift the way that we do things, don't we? Sometimes. Then we have got the 4 of Wands, which is a very stable place. You know where your place is, whether that's your home, a place, whatever it is. The central point of this wheel turns again and again because of the central flame, the central hearth. It is about that place that we call home, and for some people maybe they relate to that more as a internal sort of abstract thing, and for others it is really a physical home where they feel that they can venture off out into the world. They can do those negotiations and have a large level of security, and that's a good thing. It's what I'm seeing here, you know. Then we've got 2 8s on the end of this. As I said, we always go through and clarify Taurus. We've got the 8 of Cups, which is really about fostering in oneself a level of objectivity in terms of the emotions, because we're looking at cups here. Traditionally, we see a figure in red, you know, the robes of red of internal or personal truth. We see that figure walking away from the 8 of Cups, potentially looking for 2, which is a balance, which is more balance, which is equanimity. It is all about, on a mental level, deciding that you want to proceed in a little bit more of an emotionally detached way, which is not being disconnected. Sometimes it is very useful to do that. Certainly sometimes I am kind of getting jobs, you know. It is useful to do that because often we get sucked dry. And then we've got the wonderful 8 of Wands, all about fast communication. Something is coming through to you very quickly. I do see it as being part of work, but it might not be for all Taurians, of course. These are general readings on this platform. That is all they can be. So we've got the swiftness of this 8 of Wands. It's immediate communication. It's through the internet. It's coming down within and through your inner net, you know. So it's also like there's a large level of clarity, obviously, because we are enlightened somehow with new information. It makes us more aware of what we can do at any given time. Isn't that the case? So let's go through and we will clarify Taurus. Taurus, today the 9 of Cups, a beautiful card, very expansive ability to receive and give here on an emotional level. A very secure look. I think there's a Taurus here that really understands what they need and how they need to look after themselves. You know, valuing self-care is very important. I just say this because we have the 10 of discs here. This is all about can be family of origin, can be going back beyond that if one believes in those sorts of things, past lives, all of that. But family of origin, our values, loyalties, all of that, how, and what we were taught. And it's also quite symbolic of the treasures of that all around you in your life at this time. You appreciate it fully, you understand it, and you understand your place within it and what you need in order to be the best you can be and to feel the best you can feel, Taurus, you know. Those things you understand quite clearly, those things that you value here. We get infused here too. So we are feeling quite enthusiastic, I do think. Taurians out there feeling quite enthusiastic and quite energised at the moment, possibly around this new moon in Pisces. Feeling quite energised. We've got the Ace of Wands, vital, creative. This is the life force that runs through all of us and every other living thing on the planet. So you're really, you know what you can actually do with this wand, which is about fire. It's about the will, the driving force, your directive in that. You take control of that for yourself. You know when to do that, but you also know when to rest. That's what I mean about understanding what you personally need, if this is relating to you, any Taurians out there, or Taurus ascendants. So we've got the Four of Swords, which is a card of knowing when it is time to rest, when it is time for respite, when you can center yourself again or allow quiet space to be open to information coming through, whether that's on your internet, on your computer, or whether it's, I say, in the Four of Swords, it's usually coming to you from your internet, you know what I mean? So, but the whole point here is that you understand and value your own self-care. Well, so let's keep going. And the Seven of Discs here. At the beginning of every year, we often do a review. Often at the beginning of a year or in spring, you know, because we've had time. Often. We've had time, yeah. We're looking at the Seven of Discs, a review, whether it's energetic, whether it's totally material stuff. We've got the Two of Wands. You know what is within your field of resource or resources, your authority over that, and what you want, what you think you might be able to create from that. You're very much aware of it. Maybe it's something obviously slightly different. It's a fresh new approach. I do believe that it is a fresh and new thing that you're incubating there somewhere in your mind or whatever it is. So the Eight of Cups. Actually, we'll do the Four of Wands. It is a homecoming. There might be some Taurians out there that find themselves in a position where they really do feel like they have come home in a funny way. Look, we've got this Knight, because this Knight of Wands has been coming out in all the readings. And it's a very fiery night, fire of fire. Speaking of homecomings, and this card is interesting because, as I say, fire of fire, very compulsive night. We see a salamander here. It's a fast and reactive kind of energy. It could be someone in your life, Taurus, or someone in your world. It could in fact be aspects of yourself. You might be feeling a bit more energized, as I said. Nevertheless, it's fast moving. It's kind of interesting that this figure comes out with that Four of Wands. It's as if someone or something comes in to shake things up, or maybe that's just that new level of energy that you're potentially experiencing at the moment. What I find interesting, because this card has literally, I think, come up in every astro reading this time round, and it's kind of interesting to note the salamander up here. You know, the shape-shifting capabilities of that, because there is an element to this. We see, you know, fire needs to be fed, you know, with the right wind and some combustible material, you know, is all it needs to take off. And the flame in itself is quite a shape-shifting element. This, you know, when we look at, and I've mentioned this in other videos, we won't spend too long on that, but when we look at the shapeshifter as an archetype, because it is, we see these amazing, like Kate Blanchett, you know, actresses, like the consummate shapeshifters sometimes. Gary Oldham's one, you know, some people have that particular archetype, and there are positive aspects to it as much as there are kind of shifty aspects to it also. But like any archetype, it has a really positive potential use. If you're feeling like that, you might be feeling like you're embodying that kind of archetype at the moment. I don't know, but anyway, let's just go through. 8 of Cups, please. Saboteur, is there a potential for any kind of self-saboteur behaviours on your part here within this story? I'm not, it's kind of, we sort of have to stick to one narrative because we have that here with the 7 of Swords. It can be slightly deceptive. It's not to say that that's you, it could be someone else. It could be someone else involved in whatever it is that you're aiming for or choosing or something. There's just a slight potential there, whether it's yourself, and we are looking at the 8 of Cups, deciding on taking an objective stand or stance in terms of the emotional realm. So we're not getting too involved, whether it's work or something like that. We're not getting too personally involved if that's at all possible. If in that case it were someone that you were having to deal with, but I don't see a problem here because also with that, if there is a little obstacle or a hurdle, we have the 6 of Swords, which is an invulnerable card. It really is a really strong card. It's movement. It's a long time coming, and it's movement to a calmer port, a calmer place, a calmer workplace, a calmer whatever it is, state of mind. It's an amazing card. Central point there on the Tree of Life, all about equanimity, about beauty, balance, emphasis on balance. Let's look at the 8. The 8 of Wands, please, for Taurus. 8 of Wands for Taurus, please. Wow, this is beginning. This is the beginning of a whole new, really interesting, really enthusiastic time for you. I say that because I'll show you. Because to confirm the 8 of Wands, we get the 8 of Wands. Something's coming through really fast. And then we have the beautiful Death card, and I wouldn't be alarmed here. Death is about letting something go in order to welcome in the new. And it really is, I do see that, welcoming in the new. And it's under you determine that. You've somehow, I don't know if that's the right word, you've determined it, you've created it. You've found something that you've been seeking for quite a long time. A place, a position that's comfortable. This is what I mean. It's a transformation. So super speed, it's interesting. But, the thing with these readings is that you kind of have to stick with one narrative, and often they can be quite busy. And, so anyway, let's get a Brian Froud for you, Taurus. It's really hot here today for a fabulous swim this morning at the sea, in the sea, I should say. Now, cool off. We've got Luzguna. This is about rediscovering what are in fact familiar places, familiar faces and places. Luzguna draws herself up and starts rediscovering things that are not unfamiliar to her or him, but it's like a rediscovering. It's like seeing something that you've looked at in the same way for 20 years or something, and suddenly you see it in a whole new light, and it's really amazing, and it kind of blows your mind, you know. That is that. And then with the rock mineral crystals, which contain the 4 elements as well, we have fire. So there's a fired up Taurus here, a kind of impassioned Taurian, passionate creation, travel, and courage. We see here with fire. On that note, Taurus, I hope you found something within this reading that is of interest. Do check out, as I said, the collective reading. There's an interesting thing about time, elements of time, in an abstract sense, I mean. And take good care. Do check out any other readings on this channel that stand out for you in terms of the title. And take good care, and we'll see you next time, Taurus. Ka kite, bye.